Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to talk about TOEFL, like you probably could figure out from the description and name of this video, but this is one of the topics that I always get asked, but I'm not the best person to ask those questions because I took my TOEFL a very long time ago and I did not prepare for my TOEFL at all, but you should. You should, definitely you should. If your TOEFL score is lower than you would hope to, that's no big deal. There are many ways that you can work around it and you can still have a super high chance to get into the school of your choice. Plus, there are also some misconceptions that people think that is true about TOEFL and there actually aren't true about TOEFL, and they put too much hope in this exam when it actually doesn't matter that much. So if you want to know about that, keep on watching. Number one, TOEFL is necessary. But I'm an American citizen. I was born and raised in America. Do I still have to take TOEFL? Your citizenship does not affect the fact that you still have to take TOEFL. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter what language you speak as your first language. It doesn't matter if you only speak English and don't speak any other language. You still need to take TOEFL. But my school was taught in English. Do I still have to take TOEFL? It does not matter what language your school was in. Some people have their dental school in both English and their native language. Doesn't matter. You still have to have TOEFL because TOEFL is the way for the school to equal everybody out and standardize the applicants to make sure those people actually know how to speak English and actually can understand their lectures. TOEFL is a test of American English. There are many other English tests in the world, and many people do need to find out if you can still speak English. Many other countries speak English and they have their own English tests. So you will still have to take TOEFL if you want to apply to America because they will not accept any other test but TOEFL. TOEFL is necessary. It's ridiculous how many questions I get from people who don't think they should take TOEFL. Just take TOEFL. Just take TOEFL. There are many different kinds of TOEFL exam and it's important to take the most standard one you can find. Yes, there was one that's super popular during COVID, the home-based one. It's super easy to cheat on because you're taking it from the comfort of your home. And don't cheat on the exams. I cannot recommend that. Do not cheat on your exams. Many schools don't actually accept that type of test. That was only done during COVID. I think they still do it, but if you can, take the most standard one to limit the amount of filtering of the schools you have to do. Take the one that all the schools for sure accept, and that's internet-based test. What score do you need on TOEFL? You need at least 100. Aim for 100, but there's some occasions when 90 can also work. Think of TOEFL as a pass-fail exam. So 100 is what majority of schools will accept. Actually, 100 is what all schools will accept. If you get 100, you can go anywhere. At least TOEFL wouldn't be something that is stopping you from getting into the school. All of the schools have a threshold of 100. If it's below 100, you probably will not be seen by the admissions committee. If it's over 100, great. You will definitely have a good chance of application. There are some schools that will allow you to be seen by them, your application to be seen by the admissions committee if your score is around 90. If your score is below 90, if it's around 80 or 89 or something like this, then most likely the admissions committee will not even see your application. So how the admissions committee work? So they all have some kind of database that all of the applications kind of drive into. They waterfall into this one pool of 1,000 applications that they receive all the time. And of course, admissions committee can't actually see each and every one of them. Of course, they say it's on a person-by-person basis, but they can't actually read every application. And sometimes people think like, well, my TOEFL score is not great, but my other sides of my applications are awesome. I'm an amazing specialist. I have years of clinical experience and I'm the most awesome person you can possibly meet. Everybody loves me. I have 1 million friends on Facebook. So I definitely should be accepted and TOEFL shouldn't be the reason why they don't want to admit me. That is wrong, my friend, because there is a chance that the admissions committee will actually not even see your application because of those filters that they have. If the applicant's scores are below a certain threshold that the filter has, there is a chance that the admissions committee will not even see it. So they only will show the amount of applications that are like over 100 if that school's threshold is 100 for TOEFL, and they will only show the applicants who have TOEFL scores over 100. With that being said, consider TOEFL as a pass-fail exam. I have 120 on TOEFL. I should definitely get in. I didn't take my NBD, but my TOEFL is so high, my chances must be high, right? No. TOEFL actually does not indicate your ability of being better academically than any other guy. TOEFL only tests your ability to understand and speak English. That is all they need to know. They have one question that they want to ask you: do you speak English? If you pass TOEFL for more than 100, the answer is yes. If you can speak English as a Shakespeare, it's not doesn't mean that you're a better applicant or if you're a better dentist. So if your score is over 100 and much higher, don't think that other parts of your application don't matter because you have such an awesome TOEFL score. That's not the case. Most of the time, TOEFL is only seen as pass or fail, yes or no. So just pass TOEFL. If you have 100 but you think you need to take more TOEFL one more time just to get a higher score, that's definitely not true, and that's going to be a huge waste of money and time. So if you get yourself 100 and be happy with it, or get yourself a 90 and be slightly less happy but you can still apply. What if you get 89? And I mean 89, which is not a great score. It's below 90, so it's below the usual threshold that the schools can accept. I would still apply, but I would be much more selective with which schools I'm applying to, because if you are applying to a school that has a threshold of 100, you are way below, my friend. 89 is definitely not near 100, so there is no chance you're gonna get in there. Even if they're kind of ready to lower their thresholds for somebody, it's not gonna be you. So if you are trying to apply somewhere, apply to the schools that have the cutoff at 90. And you can easily see at their requirements page on each individual school's website, or in your CAPID or PASS program information page. That is also very easily accessible there. If you have 89, I would not apply to super popular schools like pretty much any school in California or Michigan, UPenn, any Ivy League school, anybody who really cares about their ratings. So schools usually care about what stats of entering class they put out. So they want to see higher grades. So for brand name schools like this, like US, again, any school in California, more popular schools that everybody wants to go to, that's probably not a good idea to apply to. You probably will not have as high of a chance as any other guy. But if you're applying to University of Nebraska, for example, or University of Oklahoma, something that is not as super popular, like not too many people really want to go there, or like University of Alabama, for example, it's a great school and you will get a great education, but they are much more likely to look at your application more holistically. They are much more likely to run out of candidates, and even if you are waitlisted with that low score, they are much more likely to actually consider to invite you to an interview and talk to you more, because they kind of have slim pickings and they're not many people's first choice. That is the case when you can actually get in and still be accepted with such a low score. But whatever the case, I would still apply, but immediately schedule my next TOEFL test, because TOEFLs are actually pretty fast to turn around. The results are coming right back. You don't really have to wait for too long, so you can still apply this cycle but with a new TOEFL score. Definitely study a little bit more. You're so close to passing that threshold and increasing your chances, so I would still apply, but I would not hold my breath for being acceptance with this score. How to actually improve your scores? So first, identify your weaknesses. TOEFL always breaks down your results by category. So there's speaking, reading, writing, and listening. See which one's the lowest. If you have super cool score on reading but not really great score on writing, don't even worry about preparing for reading. You already have a good score. Just solely pinpoint that weakness of yours and do everything you can to actually fix that. Don't try to take a course or something that will teach you everything. That will waste your time. Just use your own time. You already have everything else pretty good. Like 89 is a pretty good score. So just focus on that one thing and make it what you live, breathe, eat, think about all day, every day, and I guarantee you, you will improve. Don't worry if you have to take a TOEFL pretty much every day. Like, don't worry, the amount of attempts on TOEFL does not affect your chances of admission. The school will only see one result that you send them. They will not see all of your attempts. Like NBD, it really matters how many attempts you took to take the exam and pass it. For TOEFL, it doesn't matter. If you take it every week, if you have to take it every week, I don't know, like that's probably excessive, but if that's what works for you, do it. This is your method then. Take it as many times as you need until you get more than 90. Once you got more than 90, if you are one of those lower score people, forget about it. Just move on. This is your score. Just accept it. Relax. Don't try to get to 100. If your score originally is 89 and you're struggling to get it to 90, do you really think you can get it up 10 scores? Do you need to get it up 10 scores? No. Just be more selective with which schools you're applying to, and you have a really, really great chances of getting in. Because if you have 90, you don't need 91 or 95 or 99. You just, that's enough. If you have less than 89, but when I mean lower than 90, I mean 89, not 88 or 86 or 85. That's low, you guys. That's a lot of points you have to pick up to actually go over 90. Schools may overlook 1 point. They will not overlook 5 or 10 points. So if your score is like 70, you guys, just take TOEFL again. Don't waste your money on applications. You need at least, and I mean 89. I mean one score away from 90. So that is low if you are very much lower than 89. But with that very, very sad situation, I know it's super frustrating to see your score at 89. That's super sad. So that is the only exception of the rule, and this is the only time when I would actually recommend you to apply still with such a low score. So let's sum up the video. Basically, TOEFL is necessary for everybody. Everybody and their grandma have to take TOEFL if they want to apply to a dental school in America. That's just how it is. Second of all, you get 100. If you get 100, don't try to take it again to increase your chances. It will not increase your chances. TOEFL is a pass-fail exam. You either pass this threshold or you do not. So don't try to get all your chickens in order and get actually a higher score, because that's just going to be a waste of money. Another thing, if you did not get to 100 or 90, some schools do accept 90, definitely consider taking the TOEFL again. But if you have 89, so you're super close to that threshold, still apply, but be super duper selective with which schools you are actually applying to, because your chances aren't great, but there's still a chance. But I will schedule that next exam right away. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you need more personalized information, and again, I say it in every video, but I'm starting a new one-on-one guidance program for anybody who wants to enroll, and all the information is going to be in the description box below. Also, if you didn't buy yourself a copy of my book that is available on my website and on Amazon, please do. It's a really great book. It took me forever to write. It was the pain of my life, but it's definitely worth it. It's jam-packed. It's of actionable step-by-step information of what you have to do to apply and get a license in a dental area in the United States. So definitely check it out if you're kind of a beginner in this situation. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.